Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to, as you can see from here, let me just highlight that so it's easier. Um, this is the client one, and this is our DCO1, and they are all linked to our main network, which is Linux Plus network. And as you can see, this is the DNS server here. This DNS server is the default domain controller DCO1 here. And the way we have given the DNS entry, it's here. So every time we connect any of the Windows server to this or Windows or Linux server to this network group, which is the Linux Plus network, this will automatically get the DNS, which is the domain controller 192.168.0.4, and that we can show it here as well. So if we go ipconfig all, it will tell you that this is the one here, which is the right the IP address for the domain controller. So in this example, what we're going to do, we're going to discuss some permissions, and we're also going to join this client 01, which is currently not domain joined. And as you can see, I'll just go the old school way. So if I go back to the advanced system settings, so computer name, as you can see, this is it's part of the work group now, and this is the client 01. The reason what I'm going to highlight here is that, see, it is saying that the DNS, it's 192.168.0.4. Now I have not gone through the adapter and highlighted myself, so there's no IP configuration done at the OS level, but the IP configuration that it's picking from, it's actually because of the DNS server, which is 192.168.0.4. so it is taking the DNS setting from here under the DNS server setting here. So as you can see, so any server that I connect to this this network here, this will automatically get the custom DNS, which is our domain controller, which is DCO1. Well, later we'll do the additional DNS as well, and then we'll show the example later. But for now, we're just gonna go through with this one now. All right. So as you can see that it's already detecting the DNS server. There's no need to do any changes at the OS level. It's not domain joined, and of course we have our one DCO1 that is running. Now, one other thing I wanted to discuss was, if you go to the DCO1, we have the account here, which is the default account that was already like a local account on the domain controller, which is a member of very powerful properties in the domain. That means this account, which is the main account, it is a part of the administrator groups, domain admins, enterprise admins, and schema admins. One of the things, it's very powerful account. We don't want to use this account to do BAU tasks. Sometimes what happens, people create a different account under users, and then they give the rights, which are the domain admins. But domain admin is also a very powerful account. So what we're going to do, we are going to create one user account. I already show you here. If I go to wsrgr.msc, you will see that this is the local account on the server, which is the client 01, which is a member of administrator, which is a local account. But we are going to create one account specific to give some delegated permissions to domain join. So we create one user. User is test01. Last name we'll just leave as it is. So logon name would be test01, and we just put the password. We can select user must change password at next login. That means that whenever the user tries to enter that password, this will be prompted to change the password. So we are not going to do that. Alright, so this is here now. Let's quickly set finished. Now we have a test01 user, right? So this user is a member of, as you can see here, it's only domain users. So this is a very basic account, does not have any functionality from the admin side of it. It's created here. You can customize it with some sort of a description and stuff to know that where that is. And of course, we're gonna move it to where we're gonna move the things to the organization units, which is more of like classifying everything and organizing all the users and computers. So right now this user account is very basic account. It does not have anything, but we're gonna get to that now. All right. So if we go here in the Linux Plus here, which is the main our domain. So if I go to delegate control, these are very specific access permissions that you can say, because there's no point, like if you give someone domain admin credential, that means they can pretty much do everything. They're the local admins everywhere where any machine is domain joined. So that's not really practical, or it's not really safe to do so in the workplace. So if I go add, I want to find my test01, which is the account we just created. So check name, it's already found that. So now if I go next, so I want to give some specific delegate permissions here. So you can select, for example, here, let me just go through and highlight each of those things here. Let me just quickly shift it here so we can see it more better. All right. So as you can see, these are the delegate permissions. So we can give a specific to create, delete, or manage user accounts. That means if you have a lot of other accounts, that you can give permission to that specific account to manage those. Reset passwords and force password change, so that's also possible. Read the user information. So there are a lot of stuff here, but what we're going to do in this specific case is domain join. We don't want to use the domain admin account, but what we want to do is domain join. See here, join a computer to the domain. So we select that, next, and finish. Now, how do we know which account has got which permissions? So if I go to properties, because right now, even if you go to the test01, it does not have anything that can tell you that what kind of permission or what kind of delegated permissions are there. The properties have not changed for the user account. But the way we can see from here is if you go right click at the domain, the root level, and then go to the properties, you'll be able to see that there are certain things that you'll be able to see here. But what I was after, I need to see actions, view, advanced features, so that I can see some of the advanced features in the domain, and right click and then go to the properties, and then go to the security, and then go to the advanced. So you will see that we should have our test01 user, which is here. See, it's got the computer, create computer objects. These are some delegated permissions. What else is there? So we can see what delegated permissions are there for the user account, and we can remove those as well if we have to. So if we go double click here, so you'll be able to select here if you want to deselect the information that you just applied before. So there's certain things you can do granular level. So it's a lot of stuff that you can do here with the user account. But yeah, this is just more like if you want to get into the details and see what you can do about it. All right, so coming back to where we were before. So right now we can use the test01, which is under the users, this account. Can we use this account to domain join our client 01? We're gonna test that. All right, so if I go, this is our client 01 properties, the old school. No, it's some things never change. All right, so computer account change. So we want to say member of, which is gonna be Linux Plus local. Let's see if it can find it. All right, so it's detecting that. So we're going to use the account Linux Plus local, and we want to use test01. Let's see if that account has got the right permission to join it. It should be something. All right, there you go. So we can confirm that it is now welcome to the, it's asking that it's already joined now. But of course, if I go OK, and it's going to restart, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to restart now, and then we'll be able to log in with any other accounts. So right now we have confirmed that we are using the delegated permissions on this account, as we have already checked here, as you can see. So this account is pretty much right now, we use that to join. All right, yeah, beautiful, perfect. This is what we wanted. So these are very specific permissions that we have given to that account. So right now, if I go okay, restart that if you have to, restart now. All right, so we can see that they should be now under the computers. This client O1 is there now. So this has already registered one computer here now. We're going to do further classification where we have to move the computer accounts to the right organization units. But this is more of like an basic kind of troubleshooting and connected to the domain. So right now it should load again. Let's see if it's all right. So this is loading now. Client O1. I'm using Bastion. By the way, Bastion is connected to my main network here. So if you go to connected devices, you'll be able to see that I have got right now under the connected devices, I've got my client O1 and also got the DC01. So they are using the, of course, 4 and 5. But at the same time, any device that I connect to this network, it is also a member of this Bastion network that I have, which is a different subnet. That means I don't need to open any other ports. I can just simply connect using the Bastion to any of the VM that are part of this Linux Plus network, which makes a bit easier. Okay, I guess we'll have to go resource groups, which is this, and I want to find my client O1. And I want to connect using Bastion. But right now, let's say if I'm able to connect using the test O1. Okay, so this is the client O1. I want to use test O1, which was the domain account. Not sure why the domain account is not working, but let's see if I can use what other account was there. Linux Plus is the main account. Linux Plus is the main account, which was the domain admin account or the schema admin account. All right, so we are able to connect using that account now. That shows that this client O1 is a domain joined machine now. Right now, so anyone, if you are a basic user, if you want to connect to that, then you need to have certain group memberships like the domain admins and stuff if you want to make any of the admin changes. So right now, let's say if you are a basic user, let's say a user which is of course the local user management console here. Let's say if this account, this client one is by the way the default account, which is a member of the administrator groups. But let's say if you have another account, let's say if I disable this, can I go and disable it? Account is disabled. Okay, let's say this is disabled now, and I want to create another account, new user, test, and the test here, password, this is going to be the local account. But if you want to create any of the user, which is, I believe if you create what happened here, let me just go back to, so if there's a user that is a basic user which is able to connect to the server. If I go from the DC, if I go MSDSC and I want to go to the client O1, which is PowerShell, what's the IP here? Okay, so that is 192.168. 0.5. Okay. 192.0.5. Let's see if we can using the same network here now. So if I say I want to use my test 01 to RDP, yep, because the user account is not authorized for remote logins. So that means if I want to allow this account to remotely log in, I need to do some changes on the actual server, which is client 01. So what I will do, I can either go to the user accounts, and this is here now. What I need to do, I need to find that user account. Where is that? For example, if I go here, just go the old school way, properties, because this is a domain join now, so this will be able to fetch that user which we are after. So if I go to remote, I'm going to select that user. I want to add that user, which is the test 01. If I do check names, so it's able to find test 01. So if I'm adding the test 01 here, that essentially means that I'm adding that account to the remote desktop users account. So if I go again now, and this time I want to use test 01 and the passwords. So right now that account should have the administrator privileges to log in, to remote into it, sorry, not the administrator privileges, because that account is able to log in now. But what if I want to give more permission to that account? We'll quickly come back to that. So right now I'm connected to DC01, that's the IP address here, from my domain controller using RDP. So if I go now here, and let's see. So in the group, we need to add that account if we want to give on this VM, which is 192.168.0.5, administrator rights for that user account, which is test01, to do any kind of critical work or admin work. You'll see that what the user account that I've added here, it is added here now. You see, members are the test01. So you can either add from here or you can do the other way around. So both ways the same thing. Right now, if I want to make that user, so right now if I want any of the things, what can I run with admin? Let's say if I want to run this, does it give me the option? Run as an administrator. Right now is asking for to run that as an administrator. So if I use test01, does it allow me to run anything as an admin? I'm quickly gonna find out. It's saying not. So what we need to do, if we want to make that user the administrator on this computer here, which is 192.168.0.5, we need to add that specific user to that administrators group, which is this. So that will give him administrator rights. So we'll click on this one here. We'll find the user. You see, client 1 is there because that was the local account. Domain admins, so that is the Linux plus domain admins. That's fine because anyone who is the domain admin member, this automatically will have the administrator rights. But we are after test01. It's able to find because this is a domain join VM. Okay, apply. Because we are logged in using that account. All right. That is a problem. Okay, so we need to log in with a domain account, which of course is pretty simple. All we need to do is sign out, and then we'll go to the client. Where is the bastion? We're going to probably disconnect this one here as well, so we are able to log in. All right. So I'll go to the client 01 using that account, which is the domain admin account. So that means if you want to do certain changes, you will have to use that domain admin account if you want to grant someone domain admin, the administrator privileges on the actual VM that you want to give some specific access for someone. Because what happens here, if you go to the DC01, you'll find that there is a group called, if I just expand that, remote desktop users. Where is that group? Where is that remote desktop users? Let me find that. So if you search that, so this group here in the Active Directory, if you add any users to the remote desktop users, this will give them the ability to remotely connect to the domain controllers, but not any other servers. For other servers, you have to do the same way we have done for the client 01. So if I go to the client 01 now, we are this time going to go here. We're going to find the group which is the administrator group. So right now we are going to add, which is our test 01. Go check names. We have found it. We're going to add in the administrators group and apply. This should work now because we are logged in with the domain admin now. Right now, so if I just quickly change, probably just sign out and then log in with the other account, which is my account, reconnect. No, it's gonna probably reconnect with the same. All right, let me just quickly close this one and open a new session, which is test 01. Oh, by the way, I can do that now simply by doing the RDP MSDSC, and as you can see, this is gonna take those details. Test 01, which is already one, this is what we're gonna use to connect, and we're going to enter the password for the test 01, and of course we are able to connect. But right now we should be able to run as administrator because we already added that user as part of the administrator group. Okay, so if I just quickly right click and more run as administrator, that should work because that's what we have done now. Alright, so in this video we have domain joined a Windows VM and we have discussed delegated permissions, specific permissions, and how to give local admin rights on a domain joined VM. In the next video we are going to discuss about the Linux domain join and how the root permissions can be delegated in the same way we've done for the Windows. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.